Have you ever felt stuck, stressed, or burned out? If so, you're not alone. And a lot of the information that I'm teaching on my YouTube channel and social media channels has to address this with doctors and dentists, because a lot of times we just feel stuck from where we are. So I was actually searching the YouTube the other day, and I had this video come across me that just really caught my eye, that really talks to this type of person. It's about a neurosurgeon. He actually quit after practicing for 10 years. And this is just, it blew me away. His story blew me away. And if you want to watch it, we'll put the link below this video, but it's a perfect example of what happens if you get in a financial situation and you're stuck and you can't do anything about it. All right, so let's start off with I'm just going to summarize this video for you. This is a story of a guy named Gooby, Dr. Gooby, who's actually MIT trained neurosurgeon. Well, he spent 20 years of his life working as a brain surgeon. But last year, he actually quit this job, and now he spends his days in the mountains with his dog and his wife taking these long hikes. Why? Because this guy was super unhappy. Even though he was successful, he realized that his work really wasn't solving the real problems that his patients face. And this made him feel really, really bad about taking money from patients and just kind of the whole situation of how his job was set up. He just couldn't continue anymore. And he was just really, really struggling with this because he wanted to help people. You know, he trained in medical school in his residency. He wanted to help people. And early on, he was just fascinated by the brain. And he learned all these advanced surgery techniques and he did all this research. But despite his success, he was just so deeply unsatisfied. It was the job's pressure, the moral dilemmas he was facing, and the fact that his work really didn't address his patients' real issues really led him to burnout and frustration. And the thing is, he was noticing that patients who improved had healthy habits. And he didn't do this big research study, but, you know, he was talking in this video. It's like, hey, you know, for my 10 years of treating patients, this is what I found. So the ones that improved, they ate mostly a plant-based diets. You know, he wasn't saying to be vegan, but he was just saying, hey, look, most of them ate salads and vegetables, berries, you know, that sort of thing, a little bit of meat, avoided high salt diet, regularly exercised, and had really good relationships, had good social interactions and connections. They got enough sleep. They managed their stress through like meditation. So many would come to him like with neck pain and back pain. And sometimes because the surgery was like scheduled for months in advance, they'd call him and say, hey, you know, Dr. Gooby, my pain went away. I don't need the treatment after all. And it was these people that had these healthy habits. So he started noticing a pattern. And on the other hand, patients who continue to struggle even after he did the surgery, these types of people, totally the opposite. They had unhealthy lifestyles. They smoked, they drank, they ate a lot of processed food, a lot of salty food, and they didn't exercise hardly at all, very sedentary. So these patients, they were frequently stressed out, they didn't sleep well, and they really lacked a supportive social network. Surgery alone couldn't solve these deeper health issues with them. And for this doctor, this is what really bothered him, that the work that he trained all those years on weren't really helping the people that really needed it the most. And then he had his wake-up call, okay? And, you know, his story is not that unique, you know, because, you know, many professionals, doctors, dentists, after years of hard work, they find themselves sometimes, like him, questioning their career choices. Now, they may feel stuck by the responsibilities and financial needs. And I can't stress this enough, and I've talked about this in a lot of other videos and articles and things that we do. This is where passive income, having other income streams besides your W-2, your 9-to-5 job, becomes so important. Now, this gentleman, he didn't have the financial freedom or the options to quit his job. He was married, and he said in the video, luckily he didn't have any kids. He had a dog. And during the time he practiced as a neurosurgeon, him and his wife, they did save up enough to live on just for a few years. But at this point, when he was talking in this video, he didn't have any plans, no long-term plans. People are like, well, you just quit as a neurosurgeon a year ago. What are you going to do? He's like, I don't know. And he didn't know what he's going to do next. He just takes it day by day. And you know what he said about that? He said can never remember being as happy as he is now. That's pretty powerful. So imagine if he had actually built passive income streams much earlier during his career when he first got out. Think about that. He could have left his job with less stress and have more options, and more importantly, at a much earlier point than he actually ultimately decided on. He got to the point where he was so stressed out, eating unhealthy. He said he gained over 40 pounds, just mentally taxing. He was just a miserable person for all those years. And again, this is why passive income matters so much. It's critical. It's like the main ingredient if you want financial freedom and you want career flexibility, because it allows you to earn money without you physically working all the time, without you trading time for money. So this means that you can still make money even if you decide to take a break from your main job like he's doing. Well, with him, it's more of a permanent break. So whether it's through real estate, which is my favorite investment, or side businesses, building passive income can give you the freedom to make choices based on your happiness, not just your financial need. Now, this doctor's story shows why it's so important to always be ready for unexpected changes, whether it's like him facing burnout, like him, a moral issue with your job, or maybe you just have a desire to retire early. You want options. Well, having passive income is going to give you the ability to have these options instead of how we're typically trapped in, hey, you've got to work for 40 years. All you have is a 401k. That's what we've been led to believe is the only way. But having passive income, it ensures that you're not always going to be stuck in a job you don't like because you need the money. Now, about 10 years ago, I hurt my wrist snow skiing. For me, this was my wake-up call that, you know what, if something's not going to be done to bring in other streams of income, how am I going to provide for my family as a dentist? I couldn't, which led me down the road to eventually gaining passive income streams through real estate. And that's why I'm passionate and continue to teach you about this. So if you're feeling burned out or you're kind of unsure about your career, maybe if you're thinking that you want to work for another 20 or 30 years, now is the time to act. So make sure you start focusing on covering your monthly, your personal expenses with cash flowing assets as soon as you start working, as soon as possible. You want to replace yourself. You want to have your assets, your investments paying for your liabilities or your toys or your stuff. Invest in real estate, dividend paying stocks, or even start a side business. Anything that can provide you with passive income. Look, the goal is to reach a point where work is optional. And then you have the financial freedom to make choices that make you happy. Does that make sense? So if you're interested in learning more about building passive income and achieving financial freedom, I've got a passive income guide that I'll actually have the link below this video. Remember, it's never too early to start taking control of your financial future.